In just 18 months, over 47,000 Malaysians quietly crossed into Singapore, and they're not coming back. But it's not just about money. What's really happening on the ground will make you rethink everything you know about Southeast Asia's power balance. If you've ever wondered why your Malaysian friends suddenly went silent on WhatsApp, this is why. Let me show you 7 reasons why Marina Bay is becoming the new Malaysian dream. And trust me, by number 5, you'll understand why families are choosing to leave everything behind. But wait. Before we begin, please subscribe to ensure that you never miss out on any of my essential stuff. Comment, "I subscribe," below, and I will personally welcome you to our community. With that said, let's get started. Meet Aisha, 34 years old. Marketing manager in Kuala Lumpur. Made RM 8,500 a month. Pretty solid by Malaysian standards, right? She bought a condo in Mont Kiara for $400,000 in early 2023. Thought she was set. Then reality hit like a freight train. 9 months later, her condo's value dropped 12%. Not because of the property, because the ringgit was bleeding out. Every time she checked her banking app, her life savings were worth less. And here's the gut punch, she wasn't even spending it. Aisha told me she'd wake up at 3 a.m., scrolling through property sites, watching her net worth evaporate in real time. Her hands would go cold. That kind of financial anxiety? It doesn't just stress you out. It ages you. So she made the jump. Singapore. Same industry. 6,200 Singapore dollars a month. And here's the kicker, that's 35% more purchasing power than what she had in KL. Bank Negara Malaysia's Q3 2024 report confirmed what Aisha already knew. Net migration hit a 15-year high. People aren't leaving for adventure. They're fleeing for survival. But Aisha's story? That's just the surface. The second reason is making entire families disappear overnight, and it has nothing to do with money. Here's a sentence that'll make Malaysian parents wince. You're paying international school fees for a national-level education. Let me introduce you to Raj. 42. Engineer. 2 kids, ages 9 and 12. Good father. Worked his tail off. He spent RM 60,000 a year sending his kids to one of KL's top private schools. You know the ones. Fancy uniforms. Impressive brochures. Parents driving Audis to drop off. But here's what the brochure didn't say. His kids were still ranking in the bottom 40% regionally. Not because they weren't smart. Because the system wasn't built to compete globally. Raj told me about the night his son came home crying after failing a math exam. Not just upset, defeated. That hollow look in a kid's eyes when they think they're not good enough? That broke Raj. But deep down, he knew the truth. It wasn't his son's fault. The system failed him first. Then the data came out. OECD PISA 2024 scores showed Malaysia dropped 11 points in math. Meanwhile, Singapore ranked number 2 globally. So Raj did what thousands of Malaysian parents are doing. He applied for his kids to get into Singapore schools. Merit-based scholarships. Both kids got in. Now they live in Tampines. His kids? Top 15% of their cohort. Same kids. Different system. That's not luck. That's infrastructure. And if you're thinking, but Singapore's education is expensive, hold that thought. Because the third reason will flip that assumption upside down. Here's a sentence that'll make economists argue in the comments. A 3-room HDB flat in Singapore costs less per month than a comparable condo in KL when you factor in the hidden costs. I know. Sounds insane. Let me prove it. Meet Lena. 29. Graphic designer. Lived in Petaling Jaya. Made decent money. But here's what her life actually looked like. 3 hours a day in traffic. Every single day. Rm 800 a month on fuel and tolls. Her back hurt. Her eyes burned from staring at brake lights. She'd get home at 9 p.m., too exhausted to cook, so add another Rm 600 for grab food. I felt like I was living in my car, she told me. My apartment was just where I slept. Then she moved to Yishun. Yeah, Yishun, the area everyone jokes about. And you know what? Her life changed overnight. 25-minute MRT commute. 120 Singapore dollars a month for transport. She cooks now. Meets friends. Goes to the gym. I got my life back, she said. I actually see my friends now. The Economist Intelligence Unit's 2025 Livability Index ranked Singapore 10 spots higher than Kuala Lumpur, despite higher rent. Because livability isn't just about cost. It's about time. It's about whether you're living or just surviving. But wait. If Singapore's so expensive, why are Malaysians suddenly able to afford it? The fourth reason is the game changer nobody saw coming. Malaysia's loss is becoming Singapore's remote work goldmine. Let me tell you about Zain. 38. Software developer. Brilliant guy. Worked for a US startup, got paid in USD, lived in Penang. Life was good. Until 2024. Malaysia changed its tax laws on foreign income. Suddenly, Zain's sweet remote setup became a tax nightmare. He was looking at paying taxes in 2 countries for the same income. So he did the math. Registered a company in Singapore. Same remote job. Same desk. Same Zoom calls. But now, 9,800 Singapore dollars a month, lives in Woodlands, and his tax situation is crystal clear. Ministry of Manpower's 2024 data showed a 33% spike in employment pass applications from Malaysia. These aren't people leaving their jobs. They're people taking their jobs with them. This isn't brain drain. This is brain flight. And it's accelerating. Singapore even launched the One Pass in 2025, the Overseas Networks and Expertise Pass. If you're earning above 30,000 Singapore dollars a month remotely, Singapore basically rolls out the red carpet. But here's where the story takes a dark turn. The fifth reason isn't about opportunity. It's about safety. When your government changes every 18 months, planning a future feels like gambling. Let me tell you about Mr. and Mrs. Tan. 56 and 54. Ran a capitium in Johor Bahru for 22 years. 22 years. They knew every regular's order by heart. Then came the policy whiplash. GST introduced. Abolished. Replaced with SST. Changed again. Then again. 4 major reversals in 5 years. Mrs. Tan told me her hands would shake every time she opened the news app. Not from fear of crime. Not from fear of violence. But from fear of waking up to a country she no longer recognized. A country where the rules changed faster than she could adapt. You can't run a business like that. You can't live like that. So they sold. 22 years of memories, customers, recipes, gone. Now they rent an HDB flat and work part-time in Singapore. At least here, Mr. Tan said, I know what tomorrow looks like. The World Bank's 2024 governance indicators showed Malaysia's government effectiveness score dropped 6 percentile points. That's not politics, that's measurable institutional decay. Meanwhile, Singapore's governance score? Steady. Predictable. Boring, even. And right now, boring is valuable. But there's one reason that trumps them all. And it's medical. Here's a stat that'll make you double-check your insurance. A heart surgery in Malaysia now costs more than in Singapore and takes 4 times longer to schedule. Let that sink in. More expensive. Longer wait. Same region. Meet Puan City. 61. Retiree. Has diabetes. Needs regular specialist checkups. She went to a public hospital in Kuala Lumpur. Wait time? 9 months. 9 months to see a specialist for a chronic condition. During that wait, her blood sugar spiked to dangerous levels. She started losing feeling in her feet. That numbness? That's nerve damage. Irreversible. She couldn't wait anymore. So she crossed the border. Singapore General Hospital. Medical tourist. Seen within 3 weeks. Now she makes the trip monthly. I'd rather pay a bit more than lose my feet, she said. Hard to argue with that. The Lancet's 2024 study ranked Singapore's healthcare efficiency number 3 globally. Malaysia, number 48. And the gap is widening. Singapore's CHAS and MediShield life schemes now accept PR applications within 6 months. That's faster than most specialist appointments in KL. Your health doesn't have to wait for bureaucracy. So with all these reasons piling up, you'd think Malaysia would be doing something, right? The answer will surprise you. Malaysia's brain drain solution? Pretend it's not happening. I'm serious. No major retention policies. No competitive counteroffers. Just silence. 2022, Returning Expert Program, failed. 2023, Tax incentives for high earners, too little, too late. 2024, Talent Corp initiatives, underfunded and ignored. Talent Corp Malaysia's own 2024 report admitted 1.8 million skilled Malaysians are now overseas. That's up 340,000 from 2020. In 4 years. Drive through Cyberjaya today. Empty office towers. 4 rent signs in Mont Kiara. The silence is deafening. If you're watching this from KL right now, look around. Notice who's missing? Your university friends. Your former colleagues. That cousin who always talked about making it big. They're in Singapore now. But here's the twist nobody expected. While Malaysians flood Singapore, Singaporeans are quietly buying up Johor real estate. Meet David, 45. Singaporean IT consultant. Bought a 2,400 square foot condo in Johor Bahru for 280,000 Singapore dollars. Works remotely from Malaysia. Crosses the border for meetings twice a week. I'm living like a king on a commoner's budget, he laughed. EdgeProp Malaysia's Q4 2024 report showed foreign buyers, 90% Singaporean, up 67% in Johor. Same companies. Same salaries. Opposite migrations. Why? Because the border works both ways. But only if you have the right passport. So here's my question for you. If you could keep your Malaysian roots but live with Singapore's systems, would you stay or would you go? And Singaporeans watching this, would you make the reverse move for 3 times the space and half the cost? Or is stability worth the sacrifice? Drop your honest answer below. Malaysian or Singaporean, I want to hear both sides. The most controversial comment gets pinned. And if you want to see why Singaporeans are secretly jealous of one thing Malaysia has, check out this video next. You'll never guess what it is.